it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power.
Love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
Disney is known for forging ahead with diversity, equity, and inclusion-based projects worldwide. So one thing that we all know about Snow White 2025 is that it is by far the most unlikable animated movie turned into a live-action movie. And we know that this one in particular, starring Rachel Zegler, is not helping at all because of how she has carried herself on interviews and the things that she says when promoting this movie. On top of everything, with the Walt Disney Company continuing to engage in damage control over Snow White 2025, one monumental development going on now involves more to do with Rachel Zegler getting overly defensive about the trailer Backlash and the parodies surrounding the film weeks before its release. Zegler recently delivered the following message in the midst of the growing backlash for Snow White 2025. I think it's very important being a woman in 2025 because the pressure is all on us, especially when we are given a role as big as Snow White, as I have taken the opportunity to do so. And the criticism that I and the film receive is coming from such a toxic place, mainly from men who, by the way, don't really deserve the chance to criticize a film that's centered on women, powerful women. I must add that learn to save society. That's what this film is all about, saving society. And we have many great undertones that we explore that needed to be told for so very long. And to see all the criticism and the parodies mocking this film is not only completely unfair, but I think it just shows the public's own fear and ignorance over our new iteration of Snow White that not only focuses on diversity, equity, and inclusion, but also values the importance of what it means to be a woman and how we decided to shift away from the original story told in 1937 and from the Grimm brothers. We just couldn't do something like that again. It would be boring to do that again. What I find to be even more offensive is that we have actual people celebrating the negativity surrounding Snow White. Do you know how ridiculous that sounds, that we have actual men and women also celebrating the criticism over this film? And sadly, it's all driven by politics. I'm just pretty sure I know where all of this is coming from and what group it's coming from in particular, and they are going to be so fazed when they realize that many of those same critics are going to line up and see me. It will be a laughable moment, to say the least. And to the critics, all I can say is, get a life. To those families boycotting this film, that is no way to act as a parent, or to essentially strip away a wonderful and magical story from young audiences. She also said, this story needs to be shown to younger audiences, and we have parents out there that are so misinformed and driven by the toxicity on social media and misguided by politics. That's the unfortunate series of events that we have had to deal with in this film. But we are still holding strong, and we are still on the road to success for this movie that not only changes Snow White's origins, but also her values and what she fights for in this tale. It is an absolute necessity that we tell a story like this to the next generation for what it means to be a modern female, especially now in 2025, where we are dealing with a very rough year, and what's in store for the next generations. People will end up seeing this film regardless of all the supposed online criticism that really just is nothing more than a loud, vocal side of the public driven by politics. Everyone will see what we have to offer with a new tale for a Disney princess. But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say about Rachel Zegler's behavior, especially in light of all the new parodies now coming out of this movie, all of the backlash that is now worsening over time, whether it's for trailer number 1 or trailer number 2. And you're going to see clips coming out in just a couple of days from now, clips for Snow White 2025. Expect that to also backfire completely for the Walt Disney Company, for Rachel Zegler, and how they're going to continue to go into damage control mode and double down mode when it comes to their view of diversity, equity, and inclusion.